Thank you. Encinitas Mindfulness Community. Carrie asked for a repeat. I'm Diana Shemkis. This is our Encinitas Mindfulness Community. Good to see you all on. And friends. We have had a lot of people. This is so exciting to me. Randa has come on. There's Randa. How so excited to see Randa here. And then Randa invited a friend, I believe from the Methodist Church, but this is something that's important for us. And Randa, you're such a beautiful, shining example for me. These teachings are teachings for all humans, for all life. They do not require a belief system. You don't have to be a Buddhist. In fact, it's slightly annoying to me because it closes out the reality of the other infinite truths being taught, spoken, and lived. And so we do not divide in this way. You are unfortunately stuck with me in that primarily my teachings and training happen to be there. Why? Because I was invested in science. I didn't have particular faith. I didn't believe in a thing or in anything. I liked what I could see and know. And it so happened that these teachings were highly verifiable. They were highly verifiable. When I lived them, I suffered less. When I didn't, I suffered more. That was the rubric. It continues to be, and I will invite all of you to apply that to everything you think, speak, say, do, live, and intend. And in fact, today, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about the Noble Eightfold Path. Again, not Buddhist. These are just ripe, right, good, wholesome conditions for a way of living one's life every moment, each moment we can, that will lead to lessened suffering, not only for you, but for all those who come into contact with you. And now we know from things like the butterfly effect, even those you don't. This is meaningful to me because I cannot be everywhere. I cannot solve all suffering by virtue of money, time, energy, resource, and I am not so omniscient as to be capable. And I can do this body, this mind, this heart right now. And then I try to remember that it is the greatest gift there is. Isn't it larger than a donation? Larger because the commitment is now, and then now, and now. And so we're going to be talking today about this very thing called noble, wise living, sometimes called wise action, would be another way to say it. It is that which is then made clearest, and the way we're going to practice it today is with thinking a lot about one's hands. Where are the hands? What is the hand gesture? Where are we placing the hands with intention? Our practice this week is going to include knowing something about the posture of the hands, right? Because we are communicating everything, not only with our wise view, that which exchanges self for other. Remember, that's our cleanest understanding. No separation, no self and other, equal. The Buddha in me and the Buddha in you, the Christ in me, the Christ in you, and onward. Wise view. Wise intention, then, is we decided the easiest definition might be something like the inclination. with intent of the heart. Where do I open? Where do I set aspiration? Where do I wish to cultivate greater capacity, skills, resources, wise intention, resolve, or aspiration? Remember, now the heart's engaged. And then we went to deep listening and wise speech, and everyone went, oh my God, it's so hard. And we talked about some of the reasons, the habit nature of mind, and the mouth being, I believe, one of the easiest habits, not only by one's own karmic history, but by one's family, one's conditioning well beyond one's culture, on and on. And then we were practicing wise speech with the thing we're going to be doing as well today, which is simply with a pause first. That amazing gift to oneself and to others right there already in the pause, in the pause. This week we're going to look a little more at what then do the hands do. And so I'll begin. We're going to practice this in a minute. What have you noticed that your hands have done this morning? I'm noticing I'm itching right now. I walked myself into a whole thing of ants this morning, and I have a mind of being, they're all over now. And I was smart enough to put on a little oil before I got the ants, and so now they're stuck to me. And so I'm noticing my natural protection is happening. Like, am I okay? Is it here? Are they here? Maybe it's over here. So I will probably be doing this a little bit, feeling for myself and all those others covered in ants. But I'm noticing where my hand's going, what's the intent of this behavior, and I recognize that it is in fact protection and the wish for my well-being. And also to try to figure out, is there some way not to do harm to the ants? I have not gotten that worked out. I have not gotten that worked out. And do I have thoughts and feelings about that? I do, on both sides, which is I get to be free of climbing ants, and the ant is a being, and how do I be regarding? And so you will hear me probably under my breath going, may you be free from suffering, as I go like that, right like that. And I'm working on it. I'm working on it. The truth of this human.
I say sorry before. Now I have flies at the apartment.
Yes.
I say sorry.
Yes. May you be free from suffering.
I tried to bring them out.
It doesn't work. I've tried also. Now they're in my room, right next to my bed. So, practice, path, possibility. Do I believe that's the only thing I'm capable of? I'm just going to stay with myself. The answer is I do not. Do I think this is it, the greatest I can do be? The answer is I do not. Am I committed to looking for another way? The answer is I am. And I am going to continue. So now I have a little drop of honey in a jar, and I'm going to hopefully collect our friends and now return them. My husband will wake up and think that's some crazy thing happening, and the best I can do right now. And can I recognize, even then past all of this, that ants are beings also, flies are beings also, with a life, with encoding for propagation and well-being. And I can, and I'm still going to probably go like this today, and that is the truth of my current limitation, isn't it? And can I live wisely, skillfully, understanding that reality as well, that I am also limited, that I am not a wholly enlightened being, but I am a bodhisattva on the path. I do care. I don't want to just and disregard any of life any of life. And this is the point then of wise action. Wise action is not a set of rules. It would be misunderstood. It is sometimes taught simply as the precepts, a few basic precepts that we'll review. They are not all in there in this sutta, but there are 3 key non-harming invitations in this wise action. Does anybody have any idea what they might be? You could guess some. I'm going to rub now as a way of trying to soothe me and the ants. Anybody know? They're often defined as precepts. We're going to stay away from the rule. Today we're going to be talking about what do we do, not what don't we do.
Is one harmlessness?
Yes, one is harmlessness, sometimes talked about as something like do not kill. But of course, so much larger in the frame of harmlessness. So that is one of the essential precepts. Anybody have any ideas? There are 3.
Listen.
What?
Listen.
Listen, maybe it could be as one action towards this.
Avoid taking what's not yours.
Yes. And listening would include that, wouldn't it? Which is why I said to Dennis, well, yes, actually, which is not taking, that which is unnecessary, not needed, not essential. Right, because even in the purchase, what? Because you go, well, Amazon has 100,000 of those. This isn't going to be a problem.
Special deal day.
But there is actually, because it says, if it is not necessary to you, you are taking it. And then we could spend their doctrines, entire dissertations written on what is necessary. Right, we're not going to, but how am I deciding this? Right, how am I deciding this? That's the second, and then there's a third.
Sexual responsibility?
Yes, we could include sexual, but yes, Janine, and I'm going to expand that
Just craving.
as craving on its dis-ease side. And what would then be the other? Protecting those deserving of protection. Protecting life and those deserving, who are vulnerable, who don't have capacity, who are less skilled, wise, aged, right? And then, of course, because of the monastic tradition, it became sexual. Because, right, this is men and women unrelated living together, which became fraught, as one could imagine, with craving. And so that got purposefully named, though it was not in its origin, it was protecting life, protecting those deserving of protection. And then what do we know? That would include everyone and every being in everything. Make sense? These are the 3 key. The intoxicants are not in there because there is further factors in the Noble Eightfold Path, by the way, that cover heedlessness, which is right mindfulness and right concentration. And so it's there that we maintain mindfulness, so it is not in, the intoxicant is not in there, and right speech is its own, because it is so lengthy. There are so many defined conditions that it became its own. Not less, though, just so we know. We don't misunderstand it.
So, Di, what's the distinction between harmlessness and protection?
Harmlessness and protection, the difference, the motive. Harmlessness is extended to all beings everywhere. Protection is extended particularly to those who are more vulnerable. those who are young, those who are old, those who are poor, those who are hungry, the protection specifically, and then extends to everyone. And so, of course, they are interconnected because by the nature of protection, it also would be harmless. But I think a more defined version of that. Everybody get this so far? Wise action. And then, let's see if I can get to this. I want to read a few of these quotes for us. Abandoning the taking of life, one dwells refraining from taking life, with rod and weapon laid aside, gentle and kindly, abiding compassionate and wise for the welfare of all living beings. That would be the definition of harmlessness. It's pretty big. Covers a lot of ground. Abandoning the taking of life, one dwells refraining from taking life, with rod and weapon laid aside, gentle and kindly, abiding compassionate for the welfare of all living beings. The Dhammapada puts it more simply. Avoid all evil, harm, cultivate the good, purify the heart. This is the teaching of all the Buddhas. And remember, when we say Buddhas here, we simply mean wise, awakened ones. And we're going to see that as not just in a tradition, but in every tradition. Bhikkhu Bodhi says, the commitment to non-injury and non-harm and concern for the welfare of others in all things represent the practical application of wise action. The commitment to non-injury and non-harm and concern for the welfare of all others represent the practical application of wise action. Joseph Goldstein. The Dharma is fulfilled not in what we believe, but in how we live. Right? And of course we know this. Thoughts, they come and thoughts, they go. And how we live is an imprint. Can we hear this? An imprint, which has not only consequence this moment, but what? The moments to come, and by the way, resting upon the moments before, right? We know this, the reality of the causing conditions, resting on the moments before. And so when you go, I don't know how that happened, that I just started swatting all those ants, resting on the causes and conditions that have come before. And then what? If you knew my family's history, you'd go, that's not so bad. There's progress being made. I didn't bury anybody in the field. This is really good news. And what? Yet, work to be done, skills to be cultivated is also true, right? And could I do it then, wise action? Could I even then do it now? Could I go, wait a minute, this is probably not reflecting my greatest wise heart, mind. What can I do? Well, I can put a drop of honey in a jar and then see how that works. And by the way, I don't know fully. I don't know how that's going to work. But
Until Al takes it away.
yeah, Al's probably going to put water in that jar. He has his own karmic. Sharon Salzberg, loving kindness is the ability to embrace all parts of ourselves And from that place to embrace the world. Often wise action is talked about beautifully, and we will do it on Tuesday through the Metta Sutta. Talked about as ways to live, a way to be, thoughts to cultivate, heart to cultivate, often through the Metta Sutta. Sharon Salzberg herself will be on 10% Happier tomorrow for those who have access or want access to that. Talking, I think she will be on maybe wise action, if not wise speech, because I know she's somewhere near us in this. So if you can drop in on that, that's Dan Harris, and it's worthwhile. She's just a stunning teacher. Ajahn Chah, if your heart is good, everything that comes out of it will be good. Right? As simply. Right action is wise intent, wise view, and wise speech made visible. I'm going to stop here and just see if we can rest in the reality, and this gives me a lot of encouragement personally, that we in fact are capable of this. We are capable. This heart mind, this precious human life you have been gifted, is capable of this. How do we know? The Buddha, Christ, and others said, I would not ask this of you if you were not capable of it. Isn't that right? I would not ask it of you. And so then I remember when I'm just about to say, fuck you, wait a minute, I'm actually capable of more. Sometimes I say it anyway. And yet, there is these beginning interruptions, a new circuitry, the scientist would say, that is being cultivated. And then we smile at the possibility. And then we are less, what? Hateful, greedy, ill-willed, aggressive, because we go, I already know there's nothing there. There's nothing there to lead to the end of suffering. And isn't it true? Has anyone found it? Nothing there. And we know it. I forget in the moment, you forget in the moment, and then we remember, we recognize, we smile, and we begin again, don't we? And we're today, this week in particular, now with wise speech and now with wise action, and then as we move to wise livelihood, not just about occupation, we'll talk more about it, we are going to get an opportunity to keep waking up. We're going to use our hands for that actionable today. So if we invite the question, how shall we live? And then we make contact with our deepest intention to contribute to the end of suffering, not only for oneself, but for all beings. And we could remember that all will be well. All will be well. And it doesn't mean that we're perfect, does it? It doesn't mean that there aren't shades or shapes or smacks or whatever. It means that then I get the opportunity, given my training in mindfulness, to look at that and go, is this the best that can be done? And there may be a moment, isn't there, where the least harm means the end of life. Without harm, without ill will, without aggression, without hatred. and without greed. Is it possible? It is possible, right? Without Elizabeth Hamilton, who was one of Joko's students and was married to Ezra Beta, Elizabeth talked a lot about a moment where she was sleeping on a floor in a cabin at a Zen retreat nearby, and cockroaches just covered the floor. And in that moment, she, in her distress and right activation, just got a shoe and was just pounding on every cockroach she could make contact with. And she talked about it that day because of her deep regret and remorse. And then we talked about wise regret and how that would be a part then of wise action, wouldn't it? Just like me going slap, 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 and then going, whoops, wait a minute, is that the best I can do? And the answer in any moment might be yes. Right then, that's the best I can do. Libby talked about it last week when she said, you know, I was amazing at waking up to harsh speech after I said it. Because it took all of that and then feeling back to how it felt in my body to recognize that there was something not right with it. Not while I said it, because the ears weren't that smart. The mouth wasn't that smart. But the body somehow knew something because it didn't feel good. Right? And then in wise, noble action, we're going to do a lot of checking. Because I believe this is the way we can know this doesn't feel good. And then, by the way, just like in my aunt example, I still don't know exactly what would be best. I'm working on that. It is a work in progress, isn't it, for us all? I don't know. I don't know if the honey in the jar. I don't know if what you do. My mom just had bed bugs. And they were, it was a difficult situation in that she didn't understand what they were and thought if you grabbed one and squished it, you probably were going to be okay. She had never experienced that or encountered that. And of course, what happened was by the time I got there, they were pretty well everywhere. And then what happened was she went immediately into shame. Because in her life, if you had bed bugs, you were impoverished, you were poor, you did not have right condition, you were dirty. And so she, right, look at the conditioning, whoosh, flipped right over into we can't tell anyone. This is the first thing she said to me. Not let's get a fumigator or we can't tell anyone because they're going to think, right? And what could I do? Just put the hand on my own heart and feel for her in that she believed I am deficient or this would not have happened to me, right? Don't we? I must be deficient or somehow this would not be happening to me, right? And then we can attend skillfully with speech and to that one deserving now of protection, isn't she? She's one of them, as she will be 90 in August, this very month. She is deserving of protection. So how did you get them? Where could this have come from? You couldn't guess that these were climbing into the mattress? Is not helpful, is not skillful, and cannot contribute to the end of suffering, can it? Bed bugs be damned, whatever's the truth of the bed bug. This can't be helpful. And then my mom, coming being a child of the Depression, said, well, if he treats it at least twice, we can probably save this mattress, right? And I was like, I don't know. I don't think so, but I don't know. So I have to carry an Adrian, like, you can't save a mattress. You know, Because you don't try to save a mattress, you get rid of the mattress. And I say to her, you know, it sounds like we're gonna have to get rid of the mattress. And she says, that's gonna be another $600 of something. Do I understand? Well, of course I do. Why? I have just enough pause, just enough care, just enough desire and wish for the end of her suffering that I can say, I understand this is not where you would put your money today on a new mattress, right? And can we be skillful? And then my question was, as I was practicing, where are your hands? This is the question we're inviting. Where are my hands right now? I'll ask this before we practice. Where are my hands then, right then, when she says $600 for a new mattress? And I'm almost ready to say, Mom, you have plenty of money to buy that mattress, but I don't. Yes, I don't. I first touch my heart. Where are the hands? Because I don't want to be unskillful and cause more harm to her. And then I walk over and I touch her and say, it's going to be all right. We have enough. We have enough. It's going to be okay. And she says, what? Starts to cry and says, this is overwhelming. Of course it is, right? Of course it is. We're going to be there. We're going to help you take care of this. We're going to get the things that you need. You are deserving of protection. And then these hands go to the cell phone to start dialing for, right, fumigators and bug, right? All correct. Where are the hands? Where are the hands in the way that will be most of benefit is our practice this week. What is actionable, livable, seeable, observable, and ultimately, says the Buddha, agreeable? It works. It's for all sides. There is no exception. It's agreeable, not meaning likable, but it is in regard to everyone in the circumstance. Do we get that? How that word agreeable could imply something more than pleasant? Okay. Okay, so maybe the practice, right? Because we're going to work very specifically on where are the hands? Where are the hands? And then why? Well, what's beautiful about the hands is they're connected to the arms, which are beautifully connected to the body, very, very near the heart. It's pretty convenient, I think. Any questions or comments about this so far? We understand then the full implication of wise action. Thoughts about it?
It's It's Robin.
Yes, Robin. Hello. Good morning.
Hello. Oh, I always have to add something.
Sure.
So one of the things in the Jewish tradition that I always love when you talk about the hands and the heart is just, and probably a lot of people know it, but the index finger on the right hand has a direct connection through a vein to the heart. And when you get married, you put your ring on that finger instead of that, the other traditional finger that we use.
Yes.
And I
the
just
index finger.
finger.
Right.
Yeah. And Jim or Jim can confirm it, but there's supposedly a vein that goes all the way to the heart from that finger that's significant. At least for sure in Jewish religion, but I think in medical.
I love any model.
Yeah.
That connects our mouths, our hands.
Yeah.
Right. To the truth of our best intentioned.
And
part.
They do it with the right finger to the heart, and they do it with tefillin, if you ever know what that is. But anyway, it connects the mind and the body and the heart. So
Mm-hmm.
blah blah blah.
Uh-huh.
So that just
The
always comes to
trilogy
my mind.
in the
Mm-hmm.
tradition.
Exactly.
Yes.
So
Yeah. See how truths are so beautifully spoken in different right ways and different. So we are not going to say as we're practicing, just to clear this up, this isn't about what kind of karma am I creating. We get a little self-craving, a little self-cherishing, a little self-involved with that kind of inquiry. What kind of karma am I creating? And then we get the plaque up at the San Diego Hospice in really nice print because we're looking for something. We're looking for something there. It doesn't mean that we are not deserving of acknowledgement. I know it's not to imply that. And we have to be careful about, am I doing this to look good? Am I doing this to do the right thing, even when the right thing is not yet available? Is it wise action then? Well, it's a problem because if it involves another, here's something I will tell you, often it can be felt. The perfectly right thing in all of its actionables, looking pretty good so far, without the rest of the path is insufficient. Right? We can understand why. Often looking for uh, something. So just that we make sure. So we are not asking, this is not a karmic question. We are doing it to protect, trust.
I'm wondering if a wise action, excuse me, my sense is it would have to be intended, but to stay with your ant example and my fly example. So I did try to catch a fly by putting a cardboard. I killed the fly doing that.
Mm-hmm.
I got very frustrated because there are these big black flies. And then one, but I did not, like you, think, what else can I do? There were flies, but then later there was a fly, and I realized I could trap it in such a way that it had to fly outdoors. But I wasn't sitting there thinking, how can I not kill the flies? It came to me, and afterwards I thought, oh, phew, because I really do feel bad killing the flies. And so my question from that is, do I have to sit there and intend what is the wise action? No, can't something arise?
You did, actually.
I
You
did.
just weren't conscious
Well,
of it.
that's what okay, I think of it.
No,
as
you
just
did.
conscious.
No, you
Okay.
did do it.
Okay.
You just didn't make it conscious. But why?
Okay.
Then why bother? Why bother to try to catch the fly in any other way? Why not just do what you did?
Yeah.
Why not? What was operating there?
Well, for me, it was. I've been thinking a lot about non-harming.
That's
I
that's
was
the
like, I got
that's
to
the
kill
intent.
The flies, it's not fair.
Well, that's the intent.
Okay.
It was there.
That is.
You just didn't
okay.
have a banner up in the
Yeah.
neocortex going, killing
You must
things is
think-
bad.
Right.
I shall not kill things. But you did do it because
Okay.
there was clearly intent, conditioning, causes. They were being regarded
Okay.
because you did it differently. And that didn't come out of nothing. You
No,
had
and
already
that's
set
what
the
I wanted
table.
To say was,
For
for me, it's like, oh, practice really. There really is Buddha nature. There really
Yes.
not to shoot my horn. But
Yes.
For me, that was a big deal. Like I really am learning.
Yes.
To do something different.
There you didn't, and it was fairly quick,
Mm-hmm.
wasn't it?
Well,
like
I don't
pretty.
know. I've killed a lot of flies.
We've done a lot of killing of all kinds of things.
Yeah.
Right.
I have.
And I don't want to suggest in some way we won't do more. And in fact, the thing I think we're killing most is ourselves, our own Buddha nature, by not regarding, by not taking a moment or going, some part of you went, not that. And maybe it was that simple.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the way you could, right? Some restraint or refrain.
Killing the fly when I was trying not to kill the fly broke my heart.
Yes.
I didn't expect it.
Yes.
I had no idea they were that fragile.
Yes. It's inconsistent with the intent.
Yeah.
And that's always going to feel bad, says the teachings, and always going to equal a certain kind of healthy or wholesome remorse.
That's the remorse. Okay.
And it acted.
Yeah.
That remorse, wholesome remorse itself acted, even if all of your
Right.
front brain didn't go, I don't want to do that again.
Right.
You clearly didn't want to do that again because you did something different.
Okay.
And that's good enough. Let's work with that. Yay for us. Okay, we're going to get ready to practice. So let's get there. The living question. The living question. How shall I act, live, be this moment? And so as we're preparing to sit, just get the hands in a placement where you can make contact with them. Naturally restful in the lap, placed in each other, in a particular mudra, if that's your tradition. Hand placed on the heart, whatever feels right. But I'd like you to make a conscious choice about where you're placing your hands. And then for a moment, we are going to reflect on all those hands that have come throughout all time that are contributing to our happiness, our ease, our well-being, our skillfulness, who have brought the teachings, lived them throughout all these traditions. And know that we are a direct manifestation of that goodness. And that it was not by accident. And whatever we do here today, may it not be by accident. May it be on purpose, the skillfulness, the kindness, the compassion, the clear-seeing wisdom. May we invite it here. We're going to be taking just a few moments to settle. Letting go of all of the thinking as best we can about wise action so that we can fully arrive here. Stilling the body and inviting the mind home. And we notice the wandering mind, we notice sounds, we notice sensations, and we're just going to keep coming back into the out breath, the one that moves from the nostril. I'd like it to go down, touching the heart, And then down the arms to the hands. Feeling the warmth of the hands, the softness, the bony knuckle, the hands holding each other or touching the body. And with intention, we are simply resting the hands. With each out breath, touch into the hands. And then we're going to practice sustaining a little attention here, seeing how they are. What's it feel like holding your own hand? And can we do so with an essential friendliness, a kindness, a regard, a warmth? These hands that have committed infinite gestures of love, kindness, care, both for oneself and for others. Can we regard these hands and their goodness? And then can we commit ourselves most wholeheartedly to this continuation? May they be most skillful. May they cause least harm. May I cultivate a mindfulness, a clear seeing, a right intention, so that these hands may act most skillfully. And then holding the hands as if they matter, regarding them. I have noticing just a very gentle holding of the hand and the rubbing of the fingers. This is just happening naturally for me as I regard the goodness that has been propagated by these hands. And I am aspiring to invite more, to invite this wise action, including the hands, to be even more skillful, more kind, more compassionate, more regarding. And setting that wholesome intention. May these hands be skillful in protecting life, being harmless, not taking, grabbing, grasping, or rejecting. And then I'd like you to take a moment and just reflect on one thing that these hands have done, maybe in the last day, that has been a contribution to the good, that has been of benefit to not only oneself but to others. And that contributes to the end of suffering. Remember, this is our essential criterion. I was just thinking, I had the shears yesterday, walked outside on purpose and decided to cut off some dead wood and clean up some of the things happening with the tomatoes, and recognizing that this very small act of gardening, of care, was for me, for the plants, for others who will benefit as well. Just an ordinary action. Made extraordinary by the heart's inclination to be a benefit not only to myself, but to others. I'd like you to recollect something like that for yourself now. An action taken with intent towards the good. Might have been brushing your teeth. This morning I took old flowers out of a vase and just put in some rosemary. I did that not only for myself. I thought this will be good for the house. It will be pleasant for everyone. Small. I cleaned out an extra cup. It wasn't mine. In our house, if you put a cup in the sink, it's yours, you clean it. And it was a very simple thing. But I thought, well, I'm here, I don't want her to have to clean it. And it is these same hands, uh, by the way, that swatted and wiped up and killed some number of ants. These very same hands. And can I recognize in this moment my own vulnerability, my own fear? I was quite confused. What do you do? But it's important that we consider the whole. And my genuine intent, as we were talking about earlier, and yours, not to cause harm. And swatting bugs is probably one of the easiest to make contact with regarding harm. But I think even the way we hold the hand, sometimes pointing, sometimes rejecting, the hand is fisted or closed, the hand is retracted from another, sometimes even hidden out of our own fear. Think about the hands when they have been vulnerable, in fear, sometimes leading to anger, blame, judgment. But seeing if we can make contact with the felt sense of that. I just noticed my own hands kind of gripping a little bit as I was reflecting. Sometimes the very not offering the hand is an act of aggression. It looks pretty subtle, but we don't extend the hand, we keep it to ourselves. This is not because we are evil, it is because we are fearful. And can we recognize that as well? And then see where the hands can go right now that feels most available. I had to actually unwind the hands from each other and place them on my legs. I want the hands to stay open and receptive and in contact with what? First and foremost, the truth of our wish for the end of suffering. This genuine wish that we all hold. And the wish to contribute something to the good. Breathe that in and send it all the way into the hands. And that we contribute to the good not only for our own welfare and well-being, but for the greatest welfare and well-being of all beings, as best we can. And then see what the hands choose to do. There's a natural, a mudra, the natural mudra of the hand as we are setting right intention. And just holding my own legs now, I'm sort of like, ooh, this is not actually quite the best reflection. Because this isn't only for myself. I have an aspiration that is larger, and so I can place the hands back up. We can place the hands on the heart. See what feels right for you. The actions of the hands representing this good heart-mind, this awakened heart-mind. And then I'd like you to set an action for these hands later today. We're going to set a future intention called an aspiration. Something wholesome, something non-harming, something that can be of benefit. And just one. Maybe it's to dial the phone, offer a hug, a gentle, loving touch. Maybe it's making something, creating something, cooking, gardening. An act of metta, of kindness. Where the hands go, one's attention goes, and where one's attention goes, there love is possible. And in this week's practice, if we lose contact with the hands, which we will, we can always begin again. We can remember, we can pause, we can reestablish the aspiration, and we can begin again. And the very beginning again is the strengthening of the path. Both the neuro pathway and this path called my life. What are we holding with these hands, and what are we letting go of? With intention. And they are both skillful. You might prepare a meal, write a letter. I don't know, does anybody do that anymore? I hope so. Hold a loved one, open a door. And maybe it's the door of your own heart. May we extend the hand to the vulnerable, to those in need, and to ourselves. How then shall I live? Remembering that every action, every single action, has an imprint. The ones we choose and the ones we reject. Right here in the hands. May these hands protect life. May they be generous. May they protect, trust, and those deserving of protection. And then we begin to sense that the Dharma is not something to believe. It's not something to read. It's not only something to contemplate. It is something that is lived. May this practice be of benefit. May it awaken us to the reality of wise action. And may it flourish. So be it. How does wisdom and compassion, it requires both, live through these hands today? And so as you reflected on your hands, what did you notice? Where have they been? What are they doing? What are they not doing? This hand is nourishing me a little bit before Pilates. Mm-hmm.
How hard they work and how much more I need to take care of them.
How hard they work and how much, say it again, Tanya.
How hard they work and how much more I need to care for them.
Yes, thank you. Love that. That is something I happen to know about Tanya's hands. How hard they work. And something that can be invited for us all is care for them, so that what we can continue without suffering, which means it's going to have to, right? I have to honor them as well. Thank you so much for that.
The food bank gives us that opportunity.
Yes, it does.
To use our hands.
The food bank, beautiful examples, St. Andrew's Pantry, all of the things we do that we do on purpose as ways of really living generosity, the open hand, right? And then also the working hand. Lots of onions, lots of oranges, lots of potatoes, lots of, only green beans for Dennis and Rich, because can't Can't all claim that. But right, this commitment to enterprise, wise action in behalf of not only oneself. We didn't eat while we were there. We don't drink enough water, even, actually. Something we're going to keep working on. But look at the wholesomeness, the nourishment of that, just in the doing. Fill a belly, the cooking, the preparing, the cutting, the bringing, the serving, right? And even the resting then with others, right? Where are the hands? Where are the hands?
Our hands have a lot of nerve endings.
A lot of nerve endings,
And
exactly correct.
So they have a lot of, they feel a lot, and they can pass that
Yes,
in our hands.
yes. All the healing that can come through the hands, really. The bioenergetic healers know this, right? The hands themselves, a healing offering. Offering blessings, even by the motion of a hand, right? Simple motion of a hand. We know what that means. We're very keen to be aware of faces and hands. Tells a very important part of the story of the heart, doesn't it? Mm-hmm.
I was thinking this week about difficult conversations, and I was noticing not so much where the hands were, but where the hands weren't. And
Where the
I
hands
was
weren't,
on
yes.
like Zoom conversations, so you see this much. And I was trying a couple times. I was trying to read someone, and I was thinking, wonder where their hands are right now. You know, are they like clenched, but I just can't see them? So it was really making me see how it is challenging when you can't, when you're with someone and you can't get that total experience of where their body is, and we've been so focused on the hands, where their hands are. And you know, just thinking back, it would have been interesting to say, where are your hands right now?
Can you tell me a little about what's going on in your hands right now? Can you even feel your own hands?
This person was very aggravated. Something told me this.
Yeah, very likely.
But I thought, no, what is the right speech to ask them where their hands are? But you know, not being facetious,
Probably to
but
show them yours.
just exactly. That's what I was thinking.
You know, as
Yeah.
we've talked about before,
Like,
one's own open hand often opens the other's heart
yeah.
before, right, it translates even to a hand
It's a
action.
physician's one of their major rules, the laying of hands.
Yes, the laying of hands.
To care for somebody else.
And the not laying of hands. All the ways we reject, resist, protect our own without opening to that. And we know the correlation between hand and heart well before Robin was talking about it. And I just want us to become quite a bit more attentive, mindful, and aware of what's happening with your hands. I'd like you to stay in contact with them, both in terms of what you're offering you. I've been rubbing my hand throughout this meditation today so that I don't start going after the hands that are, I know for sure now, on my back. They're living there for right this minute. And can I offer this to myself as a kind act for us all? Well, as I can be a little soothed, I'm doing less harm. It's just true. It's true. And is it okay? Yes. Is it okay? Is it appropriate? Yes. Because it ultimately honors those large principles. May I contribute something? May it be something towards the good or to the end of suffering. And may I do so not only for myself. And if we thought about where the hands were in that way, which is our practice, this week, I'd like you to sort of take note. What are they doing? What are they doing? They say if you don't know where the hands are, you don't know where you are. In first grade mindfulness, we say if you don't know where your feet and hands are, you're probably getting in trouble. And so, can you feel your feet? This is kindergarten mindfulness. And look how sophisticated. Can you feel your feet and know where they're heading? Can you feel your hands and know what they're doing? And are they a reflection, which is our question, are they a reflection of your most awakened heart mind? Or are they in some habit, right? We have these habit things we do.
My example when you were asking us what we've done, which I have to laugh because I kind of vilify our phone to a lot of the clients who are in the phone. But my hands are letting me FaceTime, text, and call the daughter-in-love, the 19-year-old granddaughter, and the 11-year-old granddaughter that I lived with for 3.5 years.
Yeah.
And we connect, and we enjoy, and we share. And I thought of it when Jim was talking about healing. It's another kind of healing that my hands are letting me experience, and hopefully letting them experience.
Yes. And letting you experience, I really like that, Jean. Right? That, as Renee was just saying, the nerve endings in the hand know so much more than whatever is coming up across the marquee. Right? Can I know something about this? And then can I set the aspiration and then realize the aspiration with these hands? And I decided to make the practice simple because otherwise I think it gets very murky. And what are you doing? And I don't know. It's hard enough to know what your hands are doing, uh, right? And we're just going to stay in focus and attention there. Does that feel workable? And then we have our pebble before we end today. And so if we would, now we have, thank you, Carrie. Oh my gosh, this is so meaningful to me. This was my dad bought this crystal bowl for me many years ago. It got broken and has remained broken for a long, 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 long time. And that it is mended is meaningful. And that it was mended by Carrie's hands. And Libby's. Libby was a gluer. Carrie was a gold placer. Is also meaningful. Very meaningful to me. So thank you both so much for that. And we're going to use this as the holder of all those blessings. So if we could, can somebody get that without having to do too much? Can you, we'll take a moment and just put your blessing stone. If you don't have one, we have extra. I don't know where they are. There was a little jar. If you need a stone, grab one. And then if not, if somebody could grab the crystal bowl, and we'll just pass that quickly. If there's any blessings anyone wishes to share on chat, you can just write that. Thank you for passing that. We're collecting blessings because that's the nature of a Sangha. We collect blessings for ourselves and each other. We are continuing to not only offer blessings to Felicia, we are also offering meals or a gift card for meals or a visit or a phone call or text or a sound bath. How lovely. Thank you. Those are very important things. A visit, whatever is right for you. Just check in. How might we make that offering? And just know, Felicia, that we're all holding you, thinking of you.
Her daughter has gone back to school.
Daughter's
So
gone.
she
Oh
is
yes,
on her
August
own.
1.
Yeah, she's
Okay.
on her own.
No
starting
cousins.
today.
I know there are no cousins.
No cousins came, and so she is on her own. Thank you.
You guys have more than spoiled me, and I don't even know if I have the words to thank you. It's, I don't know, it's beyond overwhelming. The warm heart and warm heart and thank yous and appreciation I have for everybody in our Sangha, and I thank you so much. I can't even explain it like I said. Thank you.
You're so welcome.
I love you all. I'm not kidding. I really do. It's amazing.
And we really love you. So I hope that has come through in some small
It has
way.
beyond come through. Thank you.
You're so welcome. And you are deserving of this, Felicia. You are deserving of this. And we're all going to get better at learning how to receive without this idea that somehow, right, this is too much or it's extra. It's not any of that. It's exactly what the heart hands would do. And you're noticing that we're offering infinite examples of ways to do it for that reason. There is not just a meal. There is not just a phone call. There is not. And your way may be very unique and not even named by me and be perfect. And I want you to trust that as well, because that's what I know is the nature of this heart, right? Whatever it is. So, Felicia, completely deserved. I hope you're well. Looking forward to seeing you soon.
Yes, me too. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. Yes, compassion without wisdom, or wisdom without compassion, you understand to be incomplete, right? We understand it. It cannot be skillful. It cannot be, if it is only wise without regarding the heart's open caring, it is going to be insufficient. And it might be skillful. Joka would complain often about the UCSD professors in her Sangha. They were very, very, very smart. And she would say, cut the head, cut the head. Just cut the head. What's going on with the whole rest of you? And then you'd see most of those brilliant guys going, right? Cut the head. It is not enough. And by the way, cut the head doesn't mean don't include it, because wisdom is also there. But it is only there as it makes contact with the whole, right? Our bodies, hearts, and hands. So it makes me laugh because it was like cut off your head. Off with their heads. Wonderful. Okay, thank you.
Can I say,
Yes,
the use of hands sometimes doesn't require words.
that's right. That's right. Hands do not require words. That's right. And often more telling, probably. Often more telling. Especially when, as Lisa said, we're just being in the hands. How they are, how we're holding them, whether we're clutching our own, whether we're, right? And then the habit of the hands, I think, is also a little bit useful to pay attention to. And I actually have a little tendency to notice hands quite a bit.
My granddaughter can't speak yet, but she can sign.
That's so exciting. How fabulous. We're saying infinite things. We're communicating, right, well beyond. Hands this week, noticing the hands where they are. What is the intention of the hands this moment? And is it contributing to the good? Is it contributing to the greatest good possible? I'm going to Pilates where my hands are going to be pretty busy. And I spend a lot of time gripping my hands in Pilates, enough that actually I end up slightly hurting my hands. But that's important also to know, which is I don't have balance sufficient. Is really just a beautiful thing to know. So my hands have to really get over engaged a little bit right now. I'm gripping and holding the rest of me with the hands. Well, this is one of the reasons I'm there, is so that I can balance that in my whole mind body being. But it's very informative.
And I
Yes.
breathe. Breathe and relax the hands while you're
Breathe.
doing
I
Pilates.
don't have the skill yet, Robin. I kind of told myself up. It's
Yeah.
a plain old fact. I'm not going to lie. I don't weigh 111 pounds. And as a result, that's everyone else in the room, by the way.
Right.
Look at who does.
So I'm holding what, yeah, I'm in there. So a gay, and my hands are required. Now I have mitts for hands, folks. It's one of the reasons I think I notice hands, and they are what's going to get me through today. And yes, Robin's saying something. There will be a day, isn't it true? Because I'm going to stay there. There will be a day where I'll be able to rest the hands because the whole rest of me in its balance will also hold me. That's not today, and it's okay, isn't it? It isn't doesn't happen to be today. And neither do I don't have to even apologize. Today is the day. By the way, I have an instructor. She's at least twice, uh, maybe something me, like don't grip. And I'm like, someday, someday, there is a day. And I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful. But can we be where we are knowing what we're doing? That's it, right? And can we begin there? Yes. Can that matter? Yes. And by the way, is it enough? I believe so, knowing. And then opening to the truth, which is I don't have quite enough in the arms and the rest of me core to hold this thing up yet. It's okay. Yet.
One
It's
thing
okay.
I notice about my hands is how important they are for balance.
For balance.
From days before when I was much more active and could dance, and
Yes.
but even now when I'm walking, there are times I walk with my husband, we'll hold hands when we're walking, and I'll be off balance a little bit because
Yes.
I don't have my hands available to me.
Yes.
Both of my hands available to me when
Yes.
I'm walking.
Yes.
So it's, and even around the house, like walking up the stairs, I try not to hold on to the railing, so I'm using my hands for balance, the movement of my hands.
That's right.
They're really important.
They're so important.
And you mentioned holding hands. I love with whomever.
Yeah,
Oh my God, just
I've been
hold my
trying to
hand.
do that more often with people other than just my husband because it does feel really
How important
Yeah.
is it? See if you can grab someone's hand this week. And not a, right? Maybe a touch. Maybe a touch. Denise says, may the hands hold love and compassion for self and others. Let's practice with that. And so we're preparing for the Bodhisattva vow. Where do the hands go for that?
my heart.
Yep. I can't think of a better place. Can we hold our own hand? Can we hold our own heart? Can we begin like this? May I be a guard for those who need protection, a guide for those on the path, a boat, a raft, a bridge, for those who wish to cross the flood. May I be a lamp in the darkness, a resting place for the weary, a healing medicine for all who are sick, a vase of plenty, a tree of miracles. And for the boundless multitudes of living beings, may I bring sustenance and awakening, enduring like the earth and the sky, until all beings are freed from sorrow and all are awakened. May I and all beings have happiness and the causes for happiness. Please include yourself. May I and all beings be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May I and all beings recognize the blessing of this precious human life, and with these hands make offerings and restraint to protect it. May I and all beings rest and dwell in this vast, open, sky-like quality of awakened heart-mind, free from hatred, free from greed, and free from ignorance, until all beings are happy and free. And may this practice today contribute, and may we send blessings, merits, and benefits to those we now call to mind. May we place them in our hearts. And offer benefits to them through our own speech, through our own actions, through our own intentions, and our own clarity throughout this week. May these hands hold our hearts and all hearts. So be it. Hooray for us. Thank you all for joining. We are going to be talking about wise actions some more on Thursday. A little more refined conversation. We'll be talking also about where have the hands been. Oh, Tuesday. Thank you so much. Saturday is the 8th, and Courtney is coming into town after celebrating her birthday at her 50th. At Rancho La Puerta. So we may get to see her or not, I'm not sure. But be well, everyone, this week. Watch those hands. Feel them. I look forward to being with you on Tuesday. Be well, everyone.
You too. Have fun at Pilates.
Yes. Off now. I think we're probably a little late.
Oh.
No, we're good. Okay. All right. This is some big news.
I'll park in front of your house. So
Thank you, everybody. Have a beautiful weekend.
Thank you, Tanya. Thank you so much.
I'll see you guys soon.
With the hands.
Sorry.